The world had teeth, and it could bite you with them anytime it wanted. You learned that truth too late. There is a specific kind of silence that only exists in places where the human spirit has been completely destroyed. You spent 20 years thinking the screaming heat of a professional kitchen was the closest a man could get to hell. But you were wrong. Hell isn't hot. It's a sterile, stainless steel room on a private island where the ingredients arrive in unmarked crates under a dead moon. You thought you were the world's greatest chef, a master of flavor and fire, until the night you realized the meat on your cutting board didn't come from any animal found in a textbook. By the time you smelled that sweet, metallic steam rising from the grill, the exit was already locked, and the monsters were waiting for their dinner. Imagine you are a world-class executive chef. You've spent decades mastering fire and steel in the brutal kitchens of Paris, London, and New York. You are used to the weird whims of the ultra-rich. You've served screaming celebrities, fake politicians, and lonely billionaires who want their steak cut with surgical precision. You think you've seen the limit of human greed, but nothing prepares you for the contract you sign with a ghost company run by Jeffrey Epstein. They offer you a salary that makes no sense. You are flown blind on a private jet to the Virgin Islands, then hissed across black Caribbean waters to Little Street, James. You expect a sun-drenched paradise for the global elite. But the second you step onto that concrete dock, the air feels like a wet shroud. It's a world of total surveillance and silent, screaming terror. You are here to feed the masters of the universe, but you will soon find that the island's darkest secrets are rotting right inside your own pantry. The main kitchen is a masterpiece of cold engineering. It's a massive, silent tomb of stainless steel and the most expensive tools money can buy. It is also a prison. You are strictly banned from leaving the house. No beach walks, no forest trails, and you are absolutely forbidden from going near that strange, blue-striped temple on the highest hill. Guards with dead, glass eyes watch every door. You are told you're cooking for the most powerful people on Earth, but you never see their faces. You only see orders printed on bone-white paper, handed over by handlers who don't blink. As a master, you pride yourself on knowing where your food comes from. In your old life, you knew the exact farm, the exact soil, and the exact birth date of every animal. You knew your butchers by name, but here, the food comes from a black void. Deliveries arrive at 3 a.m. Armed men move locked metal crates from ghost boats that slip into the cove under the cover of a moonless sky. When you crack these crates open, you find meat that has no labels, no government stamps, no invoices, no species name. You are just handed a note from the estate manager with cooking directions that feel like a black mass ritual. Paranoia starts to rot your mind like a slow-acting venom. You can't ignore the whispers of the maids. They talk in terrified gasps about the young girls arriving on helicopters, looking drugged and broken. They whisper about the rhythmic, mechanical thumping coming from deep under the tennis courts at night. You try to hide in your work. You tell yourself, "I'm just a cook," but your brain is breaking. You are plating culinary art, delicate sauces and gold leaf pastries while knowing unspeakable crimes are happening just one wall away. You realize with a sick, oily dread that you are a silent partner. You are an accomplice with a chef's knife, helping monsters pretend to be civilized. The psychological snap happens during a private party. It's peak winter, and the island is crawling with mercenaries. The guest list is a total secret, which is wrong. Usually, you know a VIP's allergies. Tonight, you get nothing but a clock and a locked thermal box flown in on the Lolita Express. When the guards finally leave the kitchen, you look inside. The meat is wrong. It doesn't have the grain of beef or the color of pork. It is shockingly pale, lean, and feels like cold silk. Your hands start to shake. The instructions from Epstein himself are chilling. The meat must be served asterisk, extremely rare asterisk, barely kissed by the flame. You are told to bury the flavor under a mountain of bitter, numbing herbs and strange spices. This is for the inner circle. 6 people meeting in the dark near the temple. As the meat hits the hot steel, the smell fills the room. It's a scent that triggers an ancient, screaming alarm in the back of your brain. It doesn't smell like any animal you've ever touched in 20 years. It smells sweet, metallic, and fundamentally evil. The hair on your neck stands up. A freezing sweat coats your skin. You try to lie to yourself. You tell yourself it's an exotic jungle cat or an endangered deer. You have to believe that lie, or you'll drop your knife and scream. Because the other thought, the rumors of dark rituals and the essence of the innocent, is too heavy to carry. You plate the dishes with claws for hands. You watch the dark, red juices leak onto the white plates. You are trapped. If you ask a question, the men outside the door will make you disappear. There are no police here, only the man who owns the ocean. The kitchen clock ticks like a heartbeat in a dying chest. You watch the silver trays vanish down the hall, and for a moment, the heavy mahogany doors don't close all the way. A sound leaks out. It isn't the sound of polite dinner conversation or the clinking of crystal. It's a low, wet, tearing sound, followed by a chorus of rhythmic chanting that vibrates in your molars. You realize with a jolt of pure horror that they aren't using knives and forks in there. They are eating with a hunger that sounds primal, a frantic, starving desperation that belongs in a cave, not a mansion. The air in the kitchen suddenly turns ice cold, and the pilot lights on the stove flicker blue, casting long, hungry shadows that seem to dance on the stainless steel walls without you moving a muscle. Your eyes drift to the trash bin where you toss the trimmings of that meat. You see a small, discarded piece of skin that you hadn't noticed before. It isn't leather or hide. As you lean closer, the fluorescent lights hum with a sudden, deafening buzz, and you see the unmistakable swirl of a fingerprint. Your heart stutters, a cold lead weight dropping into your stomach. This wasn't exotic game. It was something, someone who had a name, a mother, and a life, before they were reduced to a highly specific order on a crisp piece of paper. The room begins to spin, and the smell of the searing meat transforms into the smell of a funeral pyre, thick and cloying, sticking to the back of your throat like wet wool. Suddenly, the estate manager is standing behind you. He doesn't make a sound. He just leans in, his breath smelling of expensive gin and something rotting, and whispers, "They say the flavor is better when the source is afraid. Do you feel it now, chef? The seasoning." He smiles, and for a split second, his eyes don't look human. They look like two black holes reflecting a void where a soul should be. You realize the inner circle isn't just eating food. They are consuming the very concept of innocence to keep themselves tethered to a world they should have left a long time ago. You aren't just a chef. You are the high priest of a cannibal's mass, and the blood on your apron is now your only uniform. You stumble back to the sink, scrubbing your hands until they bleed. But the grease of that meal won't come off. It feels like it's soaking through your pores, entering your bloodstream, marking you as one of them. Through the window, you see the striped temple on the hill glowing with a faint, sickly purple light. You hear a high-pitched whistle, not a bird, but something mechanical and ancient waking up beneath the earth. The Lolita Express is taking off again, its engines roaring like a beast that just finished its dessert. You know then that you will never leave this island. Not really. Even if they let you board a boat, you are carrying a piece of that room inside your chest, a dark seed that will grow until it consumes you from the inside out. The doors finally slam shut, the sound echoing like a coffin lid being nailed down. You stand in the silence, staring at the empty silver bell. You realize the most terrifying truth of all. They didn't hire you because you were the best chef. They hired you because you were the one who wouldn't stop. You were the one who would keep the fire burning while the world screamed. In the reflection of the industrial refrigerator, you don't see a world-class chef anymore. You see a ghost in a white coat, waiting for the next crate to arrive, knowing that one day, the name on the order might be your own. Years later, after your contract ends, the trauma is a permanent scar. You quit. You can't stand the heat of a stove. You can't look at raw meat without vomiting. You jump when a private jet flies over, wondering what's in the cargo hold. You watch the news as the empire falls and the mansions are raided. You see the famous faces denying everything. But you know the truth. You know the most horrifying secret of Little Street James will never be in a court file. It's buried in the ashes of your kitchen incinerator and locked in your broken memories. That dinner was the ultimate proof. A ruling class that believes it owns the world also believes it owns the very souls of the vulnerable. The truth is a meal most people can't digest. If this story left a bitter taste in your mouth, hit that like button and subscribe for more descents into the darkness. Comment, "Ghost," if you think the real stories are still hidden in the shadows. What do you think happened inside that temple?